James Carter tightened his grip on the worn-out steering wheel of his 15-year-old pickup truck as he drove down the highway, his mind clouded with worries. The past year had been a relentless storm, lost jobs, overdue bills, and nights spent staring at the ceiling, wondering how to keep the lights on for his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. He had done everything he could, working double shifts at a construction site, picking up odd jobs, even selling his old guitar, the only thing he had left from his father. But it was never enough. He glanced at the back seat where Lily, strapped in her car seat, was singing softly to herself, completely unaware of the weight her father carried. That was the only thing that kept James going. No matter how hard life hit him, he refused to let it break him. He had to keep pushing forward, for her. As he took the next exit, he noticed a car pulled over on the shoulder, its hazard lights blinking. A woman in a business suit stood beside it, pacing and looking at her phone. James could tell she was frustrated. He was already late picking up a side job, but something in him wouldn't let him drive past someone in need. "Daddy, are we stopping?" Lily asked, her big blue eyes filled with curiosity. "Yeah, sweetheart," he sighed. "Someone needs help." He pulled over, grabbed his worn-out tool kit from the back of his truck, and walked toward the woman. She looked up as he approached, her eyes filled with relief and skepticism. "Need some help?" he asked. The woman hesitated, then let out a frustrated sigh. "Yes, please. I have a meeting in an hour, and of course, my tire blows out in the middle of nowhere. Roadside assistance said they'll take forever." James nodded. "I can get this changed in 15 minutes. She looked at him, surprised. "You sure?" He just smiled and got to work. His hands were rough and calloused from years of labor, but they were steady. As he loosened the lug nuts, Lily hopped out of the truck and skipped over. "Daddy, can I help?" James chuckled. "Maybe hold the flashlight for me, baby." The woman watched them, her frustration softening as she observed the little girl's enthusiasm and the patience in James's voice. "Is she your daughter?" "Yeah," James said, lifting the spare tire into place. "She's my world." Lily grinned proudly. "Daddy can fix anything." The woman smiled for the first time that day. "That's a great skill to have." As James finished tightening the bolts, she took a closer look at him. His clothes were worn, his boots scuffed, but there was an undeniable pride in the way he worked. When he stood up, wiping sweat from his brow, she extended her hand. "I'm Olivia Brooks." "James Carter," he replied, shaking her hand. She reached into her designer purse. "Let me pay you for your trouble." He raised a hand, shaking his head. "No need. Just glad to help." But Olivia wasn't the kind of person who took kindness lightly. As she watched James pack up his tools and help Lily back into the truck, something stirred inside her. She had built a multi-million-dollar company from the ground up, but somewhere along the way, she had forgotten what it felt like to be struggling, to have nothing and still give to others. "James," she called before he could drive away. "Do you have a job?" His jaw tightened, embarrassment flickering in his eyes. "I do what I can." Something about the way he said it made her decision for her. "Come to my office tomorrow," she said, handing him a business card. "I think I might have something for you." James hesitated. "I appreciate it, but..." "Just show up," she insisted. "Please." The next morning, James stood outside the gleaming skyscraper, feeling painfully out of place. He had almost convinced himself not to come, but Lily's hopeful smile had pushed him forward. When he walked into Olivia's office, she smiled. "Glad you made it." He nodded, still unsure why he was there. "I'm not sure what kind of work you're offering, but I'm not looking for a handout." Olivia leaned forward. "Neither am I. I run a construction and real estate firm. And I need a project manager, someone who understands hard work, problem solving, and people. You showed all of that yesterday." James's breath caught. I don't have a fancy degree. Neither did I when I started, she interrupted. I built this company from the ground up because someone once took a chance on me. Now I want to do the same for you. James swallowed hard, emotions crashing over him. Why? Olivia smiled. Because the world needs more people like you, people who help without expecting anything in return. Tears burned at the back of his eyes as he nodded. I won't let you down. That night, James held Lily a little tighter as he tucked her into bed. For the first time in a long time, he felt something he had almost forgotten. Hope.